Timing a trip to Hawaii well requires answering two completely separate questions, and almost every piece of travel advice about Hawaii answers only one of them. The first question is when to go, and the honest answer has almost nothing to do with weather. Hawaii's climate is among the most consistently pleasant in the world. Temperatures across the main islands range from roughly 24 to 31 degrees Celsius year-round, with variations so mild that best weather month, as a concept, barely applies. The real answer to when to go is determined almost entirely by the calendar of American domestic tourism, because roughly 75 to 80% of Hawaii's visitors come from the continental United States, and when those visitors travel is the single biggest driver of prices, crowd levels, and the availability of accommodation, activities, and even reservations to natural sites. Understanding the American travel calendar is the key to Hawaii's timing, because Hawaii's high season isn't defined by weather. It's defined by school schedules and federal holidays and the particular rhythms of American family vacation patterns. The second question is where to stay on each island you visit, and this is the question almost no timing guide addresses at all, because it's a geographic question that has more impact on your daily weather experience than any month of the year. Every main Hawaiian island has a windward side and a leeward side, divided by its central mountain ridge. The windward side, the northeast side that faces into the trade winds coming off the Pacific, receives the moisture that those winds carry, producing lush, green, frequently overcast and rainy landscapes. The leeward side, the southwest side sheltered from the trades, is dry, sunny, and hot, with the landscape becoming increasingly arid toward the western coasts. This division is consistent across all seasons and means that the choice of which side of an island to base yourself on is a more consequential climate decision than whether you go in January or July. These two questions are independent of each other, and both need to be answered correctly for a Hawaii trip to work as well as it can. Here is how each one actually functions. Start with the American travel calendar, because this is the timing factor that most directly affects what you'll pay and what you'll find when you arrive. Hawaii has two high seasons, and they correspond directly to the two major American family vacation windows. The first and larger peak runs from mid-December through mid-April. This is when the continental United States is cold and Hawaii is the obvious escape destination, and it coincides with Christmas and New Year, Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, President's Week in February, and spring break, which runs through March and into April depending on the school district. During this window, Hawaii operates at maximum capacity. Accommodation prices peak for Christmas and New Year, ease slightly through January and February, and then spike again for President's Week and spring break. The popular natural sites, Haleakala Summit on Maui, Hanuma Bay on Oahu, the Kalalau Trail on Kauai, have their highest demand for reservations during this period, and the reservation systems for the ones that require advanced booking are most competitive. The second peak, smaller but significant, runs through June and July and into early August, corresponding to the American summer school holiday. Families who couldn't go in winter come in summer, and the combination of summer pricing and summer crowds produces conditions similar to the winter peak, particularly in July, when the summer peak typically reaches its highest point. The windows between these peaks are when Hawaii offers the best value and the most manageable visitor numbers, and they're worth naming specifically because they're not simply shoulder season in the abstract, they have distinct characters. Late April and May, after spring break has cleared but before the summer school holiday begins, is arguably the best window in the entire calendar for most travelers who have any flexibility. The winter peak pricing has ended, the spring break crowds have gone, and the summer surge hasn't arrived. Accommodation rates are at their lowest point of the year. The natural sites that require reservations are easier to book. The beaches and trails are at their least crowded. The weather is indistinguishable from peak season because the weather barely changes. This window is consistently underused by travelers who see spring and assume they should either have gone in winter or should wait for summer, without realizing they've stumbled onto the best timing Hawaii has. September through mid-November is the other underused window, with similar logic but a specific consideration worth noting. September is technically hurricane season for Hawaii, and while direct hits on the main islands are rare, The geography of the Pacific means most tropical storms are deflected before reaching the archipelago. The possibility exists, and the weather can be more unsettled than at other times of year, with higher humidity and occasional periods of heavy rain. October and early November are when this risk has largely passed and the post-summer quiet is at its most pronounced. The light in Hawaii in October has a quality that the high summer overhead sun doesn't produce. Lower, warmer, more angled, and the landscapes, particularly on the wetter windward sides of the islands, are at their most intensely green after the summer rain. Now, the geographic question, which is the one that determines what your actual daily weather experience looks like regardless of which month you've chosen. Take Maui as the clearest example. The island divides along the ridge of Haleakala, with Kihei and Wailea on the south and southwest, the leeward side, reliably sunny, dry, and hot, with perhaps 300 days of sunshine annually and virtually no rain in summer. 15 minutes away on the map, Hana on the windward northeast coast receives over 200 inches of rain a year, exists in almost perpetual lush greenness, and operates in a state of regular overcast that its residents and its visitors find beautiful and that would disappoint someone expecting beach weather. These are the same island, accessible by the same road, in the same month, experiencing completely different climates. The north shore of Maui around Paia and Haiku sits in the transition zone where the trade winds begin to drop their moisture, enough for lush vegetation and reliable surf, but not the full rain of the deep windward valleys. The West Maui Mountains around Kapalua and Napili create their own localized weather patterns different from the main central Maui leeward zone. The same principle applies across every island. On Oahu, Waikiki and the South Shore are consistently sunny and dry. This is why Waikiki became the tourist center, not primarily for the beach quality, but for the weather reliability. 15 kilometers northeast, the Manoa Valley in Honolulu receives what locals call Manoa rain, regular afternoon showers that keep the valley green and produce the conditions for the rainforest walk above the University of Hawaii. The windward side communities of Kailua and Kaneohe, on the other side of the Ko'olau Range, are verdant and rainy and locally beloved and climatically a different island from Waikiki, even though they're 45 minutes away by road. On Kauai, the north shore around Hanalei is one of the wettest inhabited places in the United States. Mount Waialeale in the island's interior receives over 450 inches of rain annually, making it one of the wettest spots on Earth, while Poipu on the south shore is sunny and dry enough to have been described as the place the sun always shines, which is an overstatement, but not by much. In winter, specifically, the north shore of Kauai receives enough rainfall and swell to make the area genuinely difficult to enjoy as a beach destination, while Poipu's south-facing leeward position keeps it largely protected from the winter storms that roll in from the North Pacific. Visitors who book the North Shore in December and January sometimes find the dramatic green beauty of the Na Pali coast somewhat obscured by the weather that makes it green in the first place. The Big Island of Hawaii carries the windward leeward distinction to its most extreme expression because the island's volcanic mountains are tall enough to create genuinely dramatic climate zones. Hilo on the windward east side receives over 130 inches of rain a year and is the rainiest city in the United States, which makes it lush and green and the base for the rainforest approaches to Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Kailua Kona on the leeward west side, 45 minutes away by road over the saddle between the volcanoes, is sunny and dry and has the coffee plantations and the beach resorts and the year-round outdoor activities infrastructure that the Hilo side's weather doesn't support in the same way. A visitor who books a beach vacation on the Big Island and lands in Hilo has made the geographic mistake that the windward leeward distinction explains, and weather forecasts could have told them in advance. There is one genuine seasonal distinction in Hawaii that the windward leeward distinction doesn't override, and it's specific to the winter months on the north shores of the main islands. From roughly November through March, north swells generated by storms in the North Pacific travel south and arrive on the north-facing shores of the Hawaiian Islands as the famous winter surf. The waves at Pipeline and Sunset Beach on Oahu's north shore, the waves at Hanalei Bay on Kauai, the waves at Jaws on Maui's north shore that reach heights requiring toe-in surfing. This is when the surfing world comes to Hawaii, when the major surf competitions run, and when these north-facing beaches produce the conditions that make them globally famous. It's also when those same beaches are genuinely dangerous for casual swimming and unsuitable for the beach experience that summer visitors expect. The surf that produces pipe masters is the surf that drowns tourists who didn't understand the conditions. This seasonal surf distinction matters for itinerary planning in both directions. If seeing world-class professional surfing in its natural environment is a goal, the winter months on the North Shores are the specific window that makes it possible. If swimming and snorkeling in calm water is the goal, those same North Shores and those same months are the wrong choice, and the leeward South and West Shores, which are protected from the North swells regardless of season, are the correct answer. The whale season adds a third genuine seasonal consideration for visitors whose priorities include marine wildlife. Humpback whales migrate to Hawaiian waters from their Alaskan feeding grounds between roughly December and April, with peak numbers from January through March. The concentration of humpbacks in the channels between the main islands during these months, particularly in the Auau Channel between Maui and Lanai, is among the highest anywhere in the world, and the whale watching from boats or from elevated coastal viewpoints is extraordinary during this window. This is one genuine reason that the winter peak season, expensive as it is, delivers something the shoulder seasons don't. The practical synthesis of all of this for a traveler actually planning a trip. On the question of when to go, April, May, and October, early November offer the best combination of low prices, minimal crowds, and no meaningful climate disadvantage over peak season. If the trip must happen during peak season, Christmas, President's Week, July, book accommodation and any reservation-required natural sites as early as possible. Expect premium pricing and know that the crowding at the most popular spots is real and manageable with early starts. On the question of where to stay within each island, decide in advance what matters more: reliable beach weather or access to the lush green landscapes and cooler temperatures. For reliable beach weather, base yourself on the leeward southwest and south shores of whichever island you're on. For dramatic scenery and the island's natural character at its most intense, the windward side delivers it regardless of the month. Understanding that the weather delivering that character is not always beach weather. Both decisions together produce a Hawaii trip that works with the island's actual conditions rather than hoping conditions will cooperate. The traveler who picks the right month for the wrong side of the island still gets rained on. The one who picks the right side in the wrong month still pays peak prices. Getting both right is the whole of what timing Hawaii actually means. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, smash that like button and subscribe to When to Travel. We're all about helping you make smarter travel decisions. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And hey, if you think your friends need this, share it. Comment below with your next destination or your biggest travel question. I'm reading all of them. Let's go.